Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
He has time. He's got him. Side touch is there. Leaping grab. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Perfection, expect nothing else. Do you like to make yourself a hot cup of coffee to start your day? We have both whole bean and grounded. Also great for all you iced coffee if not a hot kind of person. Even make yourself a frappe to quench your thirst. The best tasting coffee with espresso. It's only $18.99 plus taxes for a 12-ounce bag. Buy 1 to 5 bags and shipping is only $7. If you spend over $100, shipping is absolutely free.
Good morning. Yep, got my, I'm sure Steve would approve of my morning Star Wars coffee mug today with my Bear Six Actual in it. Wife approved now, as she has stated this morning that it is her favorite smelling of the coffee. We had week 2 of the NFL, though, gents. So week 2 happened. Of course, those watching are now noticing that we've had a few changes around here. Like, I actually saw a Razor for the first time in like 2 years. Just felt like doing it. And we've got a different format here on the show. As you can see, the comments now will be on the side there. And we had week 2. We had some gifts. We had some surprises. We had good games. And we had a blowout or two that no one expected. So let's get into it. As always, I kind of want to start with the biggest, on some level, surprise. And that was New Orleans and Dallas. And I don't always say that, because Steve is probably watching. He's the guy who makes my coffee beans, and he's a Cowgirls fan. But you have to ask this question after 2 weeks.
Be nice to your sponsors.
Exactly. Is New Orleans for real?
They very well could be.
They could be. But again, we already said the Cowboys were overrated coming into the season. And we know the Panthers are bad.
Yep.
New Orleans exposed the overrated Cowboys.
Oh, absolutely.
We knew they were exposed.
That just means Cleveland's even that much worse. Holy fuck.
So interesting stat yesterday. I was watching Red Zone and a bunch of different games. Carr, first 15 possessions of the season, right?
Touchdown.
Every single one of them resulted in New Orleans score.
Yep.
That's
one
insane.
field goal, 14 touchdowns. One field goal. That is way too efficient. But at the same time, we've never seen this consistency for 2 games back-to-back from Derek Carr at the same time in his career. But he's also in the middle of his prime.
Well, I'd say this. When he was under the Gruden Raiders, we started to see it, because him and Gruden, a little bit, but him and Gruden were like this. And then I think Gruden, that whole email situation where Gruden left, screwed him up career-wise. Because when Gruden left and they were trying to figure out who the coach was going to be, for all intents and purposes, Carr was the coach. He was legit the only one out there who understood that offense that Gruden designed. Like everyone else is like looking at rocket science. He's like, oh yeah, I got this. And I think it kind of set him back a little bit. Good morning, Yoli.
Yeah, good morning, Yoli.
I think it kind of set him back a little bit. And then, of course, you bring in McDaniels, Josh McDaniels, and he comes in to ruin yet a second franchise. And I think it took him a little bit of time in NOLA to kind of like get there in the head. You know what I mean? Like physically, he's got the traits. We know he's good, but mentally, it took him a while.
Good morning, Eric.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Hey, and I'll say it again. I said it in the chat. The Packer fans heard me say it. Congrats to LaFleur for calling a game plan that make Malik Willis look good.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
So Malik Willis only missed on 2 of the passes he threw.
No pick and a touchdown. That's all you needed. And he ran one in, right?
Offensive line played well for them.
The penalties.
They got some.
Yeah, there's a lot of penalties. Holy shit!
There was a lot of penalties around the league with those.
They're
throwing laundry everywhere.
It's always a happy Monday when I have my coffee, Yoli. And look, we know Rob is happy. He's got his coffee.
So I'm happy because the defense showed up yesterday.
In comparison, let's talk about the best quarterback coming out of college having 15 drives and 0 touchdowns and 2 picks.
Yeah, we'll get to that game in a minute. And seriously, like JB, why must you always just drive straight to the Bears? We got like all this other stuff. We're going to talk about the Bears.
Wait. If I talk about the Lions first, you're right.
Hold on a second, because you're on Ken in the morning. Let me drive the train for a minute here. Let's go talk about the Lions being exposed for what they were, a team that lost yesterday. I don't know if they got exposed. Hutch had a hell of a game, though. I'll predicate that. The kid was redonkulous, 4 sacks. I mean, and that was with 25 minutes left. He had the 4 sacks, right?
4.5 sacks.
Yeah. So, I mean, Hutch played great. But let's talk about quarterbacks getting exposed. Jared Goff, 2 interceptions. I mean, look at good game, great game. We knew it'd be a good game. We knew it'd be a tight game. Baker
and I also said on this very show that either win by 7 or lose by 4.
It was close.
It was close.
We lost by 4.
Game, but Baker
lost
did
by
Baker
4.
Thing.
He threw for 174 yards, and they rushed for way less than 100. What it was is the inability of AG to play a spy or a containment blitz, as I pointed out in my preview article. We didn't run the ball. We did not play a balanced offense. We went away from the 3rd best rushing attack last year like we did in the first game. We got lucky that we came back and got the ball in overtime. I said that against the Rams. This time, it was 27 run plays, 56 total passes when you include the 4th down pass by Jack Fox. That is not conducive. That's not conducive to winning football. Ben Johnson is getting too cute and trying to show his evil genius.
And Baker did Baker things, like Baker touchdown was, his rushing touchdown was a nice little piece of Baker football. I mean, they're playing without arguably their best defensive player. He's out for the year.
Oh, Vita Vea is out for the year now? Because that happened in the game.
Well, no, I'm talking about Winfield Jr.
Vita Vea is their best defensive player, and he went out in the game.
Okay, but I said they're playing without, meaning that the guy didn't even suit up. I didn't talk about the guys who were playing in the game yesterday. Just in general, Winfield Jr. is gone. He's probably their best player, and they lost him before the season even started, right? So, Tampa was going to be defensively challenged with some of the losses in the offseason, and then Winfield Jr. But their defense still is looking like they're actually pretty good still. I expected their defense to be a lot worse than it is, or what showed through the first 2 games.
Their defense gave up over 400 yards. The Lions' defense gave up 216.
Okay, JB, but did they win? Yeah.
That's not what I'm getting at here. What I'm getting, I'm making a point.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like their defense is doing enough to win games, which what I'm saying is is a lot better than I thought it would be. You know, with what they lost, I thought their defense would be a lot more prohibitive to them winning games. Yet here's Tampa winning games.
Yeah, they made their plays when they needed to. They gave up a shit ton, but hey,
Yeah, they did.
they found a way to make it work.
Yeah,
1
they're
for
doing
7 in the
Ben
red
Dump
zone
break.
is what killed us.
They're doing the whole
yeah.
Ben
You go in the red zone, you got to score. You got to put something in there. Oh, I didn't know
They did
that.
to us. They did to us what we did to the Rams. That's the
Yeah.
difference in the game.
They did the bend don't break, and that's, I mean, a lot of teams do that, but Tampa was kind of like the architect of that back in the early 2000s.
Well,
That's
and
kind of like their mantra.
And did you watch the whole game? Because they're on that first pick, they missed a PI because JMO was basically tackled before the ball even was thrown.
I had you guys on Red Zone, so I probably saw the highlight of it. I didn't watch the whole game and listen to the commentators or any of that good stuff. I was too busy. There were 10 games, man. I was like trying to keep up with everything. Red Zone is a gift.
too many flags, man. Too many fucking.
Oh, that's
flags.
why
There was
I
a
had my
lot of
phone
yes.
and my TV going because I paid attention to all 3 games in the North. And the best game played in the North, granted, the Packers was a great game. It was Minnesota.
Oh, the Vikings game.
Yeah.
Vikings destroyed.
Yeah, well, I was going to get to them next. After we got done with the Lions, because I'm not done with the Lions losing at home to Tampa yet.
Shit happens.
Hey,
It's one game.
JMO's actually through 2 games looking like he's going to pan out.
Mm-hmm.
I told you.
Well, yeah, he doing better than St. Brown, ain't he?
Well, yeah, St. Brown had 13 yards in the first one, but he did have 110 yards in this one.
No, he went off yesterday. He went off. They made a game plan for him yesterday. I'm saying,
I'm not crying about
Brown
the officials, Broski. I'm not crying about the officials. Stop that.
I mean, JMO, this was kind of like a make or break season for him.
Yeah, I haven't heard JT say anything about the officials, man.
It looks like
I one missed PI play, but I didn't say it cost us the game.
Yes.
But it looks like JMO's turning the corner and finally getting it, which bodes well for the Lions, especially if because they haven't been able to get
Dude's
third
fast as
down.
fuck. He's fast as fuck, bro. Holy shit.
He has 201 receiving yards so far.
And if they can get third round St. Brown up and going, that there's going to be a good duo with the two of them. If JMO can continue to play and they can get St. Brown going, the Lions actually have something to look forward to through the remainder of the season.
I think we have a Joe. He's off camera, but we might have a Joe. Are you there, Joe?
He's got to do some adjustments on his
yeah.
phone. That's the thing. Restream, you have to do some adjustments, Joe. You're going to have to play with it.
Yeah. Well, he's playing from the phone too. It's a little different from the laptop.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Though you got to program your phone. You got to get it.
Yeah,
set.
you got to accept everything in your phone's browser before it'll let you do anything.
Yes.
So Eric, to answer your question, that was the next game we were going to go to as we went through the game. See, I wanted to do winner, loser. As we go, the third NFC North game was Minnesota, and Eric asks, do we take Minnesota seriously? And the answer to that question is yes.
Yes.
I was going to say, from what they put on the field these first 2 weeks, you have to. Sam Darnold looks like a real quarterback.
I'm going to give Jefferson some props. That fucking touchdown, man, was all him, bro. He fucking caught that ball, and yards after catch, he made those guys miss, and bro, that was.
But it was a gutsy call, though, too, considering the
90 was it 99 yards or 98?
97.
Yeah, fucking unbelievable. That was a great touchdown.
It was announced as a 99. It was announced as a 99, and it ended up being 97 on the stat sheet because the ball was actually closer to the 3.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold,
a great run by him.
Here's the thing. Sam Darnold threw that from 3 yards deep in the end zone to the 51-yard line. That was a 54 in-air yards catch where he had the defender beat.
It was a perfect pass, and then he fucking did the rest. He fucking juked 2 guys. He fucking juked them both and beat them to the end zone. That was all him.
Well, I think we now realize why Justin Jefferson's getting paid $35 million a year.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, and also
wide receiver for a reason.
I mean, two things with that game though, right? One, Darnold kind of channeled his internet.
Again, Darnold shows up again.
Yeah, he's been managing the game. He hasn't been trying to be the creative force. He's just using what's in front of him, right? He's not trying to create stuff. And that defense is just legit.
One of the top.
I knew the defense was going to be legit coming in because they always are. Like the Vikings seem to have that every year a very competitive defense. They're even when they're not top 15, they're still very, for whatever reason.
I thought they were going to miss Danielle Hunter, but man, no, not at all.
Not at all.
Shit.
No, because they made up enough for it with what they replaced them with.
Don't forget they signed Jonathan Grenard, who had just as many sacks off of the Texans team last year.
And then they draft probably the kid who could be the defensive rookie of the year. We'll see how that works.
Joe!
No! Congratulations.
Speaking of defensive, I want to say my favorite sack yesterday I saw all game was Max Crosby.
I was gonna say, Joe's getting on the show. The Raiders won. Joe's gonna come talk.
Because that game,
he put the smash down on Lamar on that sack too.
Yeah, I mean, he just said, "Hi, let me give you a big hug," and just wrapped him up, took him down, and I mean, that was just like Lamar had to be going, "Okay, did I do my will? Yes. Okay, life insurance check, medical insurance check." Oh shit!
Look at Doran trying to downplay how fast Jefferson was on that play. You realize he ran a total of 135 yards on that play.
Yeah, bro.
Because he went sideways across the field twice.
It was a great run, bro. That was all him. That was.
So yeah, I mean, they are. Who the Vikings got next week?
Well, let's give some credit to Darnold too. That was a beautiful pass, man.
Oh yeah,
Darnold threw a 55 yards downfield.
Hit him
right in the money.
Yeah, but dude, the run after the fact, he had two guys. He juked them both and then beat them to the end zone.
Oh yeah, he smoked them, dude.
He
like
smoked them, bro.
That Niners corner,
man.
That Niners corner got torched, dude.
Yep.
Like he got torched.
Fucking burnt.
So that was a good game, but then let's go to the Raiders game. Look, I mean, the Raiders come out and kind of in week one have a kind of a stinker, right? I mean, but look, the Chargers won again yesterday, so it's not to say that I wouldn't necessarily call it a stinker. The Chargers are actually a pretty good team, but then they come out yesterday, and you're thinking, okay, Raiders, Ravens, this probably won't be much of a game, and it wasn't on a lot of levels because, like, Baltimore's still really good, yes, but they still have the inability to score touchdowns, which is kind of like their calling card. The Raiders offensively didn't necessarily light it up. I mean, Adams had a couple really nice catches, like where if it's not him, it's probably not a catch. Put it that way. Like that toe tap around the end zone where he's literally laid out at like I mean, it's like, and his toes are touching, and you're like, did the science really? Is 0G a thing here now? Or I mean, he made some catches.
It was a tale of two halves, man. The first half, the Raiders were terrible. Their defense kept them in the game. And then finally, I don't know, so on ESPN, they had an article that said that Davante, took the offense on the sideline and got them all together and yelled at them. Or not yelled at them like, you suck, but basically, tried to pump some fire into them. And that in the second half, they came out and they responded. But also, what kind of flew under the radar is Brock Bowers had 9 catches for 98 yards. And so Brock Bowers set the NFL record for rookie tight ends for most catches in the first 2 games. And I'm just here to tell you guys, I told you he's going to be rookie of the year.
It ain't over yet, Joe. We're 2 games in.
It's only week 2.
Salute Mr. Bowers. I'm telling you, dude.
Well, yeah, you got a case for it. I'm not arguing that.
Bowers is a fucking animal, dude. And Davante, Davante was just doing Davante things. That's just what he was doing.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Rob.
No, I was going to say, out of that game, the most surprising, and it's 2 games now. J.K. Dobbins, the running back from fucking the Chargers. Holy fuck, dude. Where this guy? He was with Baltimore last year. I never seen him have any kind of this kind of. He looks like a legit running back, bro.
Because he's been injured so much.
Yeah, he's been hurt every year.
Bro, he's a legit.
When he's on the field,
you know what? Though, I think
when he's
Rob
on the
Thomas,
field, he's a beast.
But you know what? Rob's kind of onto something because, like, for the Chargers, he has been a beast for 2 games, right?
Yeah.
But look at where he came from. He said, "Oh, Baltimore. Okay, what King Henry do yesterday?" It's something with Baltimore. Like, if you're running back, you just don't. They don't run well unless
Henry had a quiet game till the end, bro. He had a quiet game till the end. I mean,
the Baltimore O line looks wall.
Yes.
Well,
the player
part
on
of
it
it
is Tyler Linderbaum.
Part of Henry having a bad, or not a bad game, but not really being able to do anything until the end is that the Raiders defense like just got gashed the week before in the run game. So I'm sure that they were like, you know, they worked extra on that in practice. They're like,
and that was a common theme because like, look at the Bears got gashed in week 1 on the run, but last night were stout on the run. I mean, look at the Bears lose. I was almost said again. That was the flashback 2 years ago. But I mean, they lose they were in. It was a close game. I said it would be a close game. I was a touchdown off from the final score, and that was that the Bears didn't get that touchdown. I had the Bears winning. And I had it like 20-17 was what I had. But I mean, the Bears were really good against the run yesterday because, like you said, with the Raiders too. Week 1, terrible on the run. Yesterday they were good on the run. That Bears defense is legit, right? Now, if only the offensive line can hold together long enough for us to get some plays together, this team might be dangerous. But the defense is legit. But like the Raiders, week 1 got gashed on run yesterday. There was no run game really for the Texans. You know, I mean, the Texans got some nice pass plays here and there, just as the Bears got a few nice pass plays here and there, which is surprising given their O-line. But, you know, a lot of teams that got gashed on runs in week 1, this week, didn't get gashed. Like,
one of the big things, one of the big keys why the Raiders were able to win that game is because they held Lamar Jackson to 20 yards rushing.
Yeah.
No, they didn't let him get out and create plays like he loves to do. And that took away a big part of Baltimore's offense. They hit us with some pass plays where I was sitting there like was anybody even covering that guy? Like Flowers was open a couple times. Andrew,
how did Likely do yesterday? Anybody know how Isaiah Likely did? Because he was the guy that was the threat. He was their wide receiver threat. Him and Flowers. I know he got a touchdown. I'm just curious how Likely was doing.
I didn't notice Likely yesterday, but
that's what I mean. The first week he had like 10 or 8 catches, 100 and some yards. He didn't do shit yesterday.
He had a couple catches, I think, but he didn't do anything spectacular.
Yeah, he had 20 yards.
This is that time of year that we're going to see, like, from week to
Up
week.
and down.
Yeah, the ebb and flow. Like, you're not going to have the same studs. I mean, some teams you are. Like, for the Bears, obviously, it's still DJ Moore is the guy. You know, they can't get – they're trying to go to Odunze a little bit. They still haven't gotten Odunze really going. He had 2 catches.
I was shocked to see him out there yesterday.
Yeah.
He's going to play,
but I think that was more because I think that was more because Keenan Allen was out than that. But they still haven't gotten like Odunze rolling. But once again, no line. I saw a comment in there about here we go, Lewis. Do we put Bajan in week 3? No, you don't. You don't put Bajan in week 3. The problem with the Bears is very
calling for the backup already.
Yeah, I mean, look, the problem in Chicago is very basic. It's very simple. The problem is not Caleb Williams. The problem isn't necessarily even play calling at this point. The problem is that the O-line is like a sieve. The O-line, there's plays where like Nate Davis, the guy, he just kind of like, I don't know if he even put a hand on the guy who's supposed to block. He got blown past so fast. The Bears' offensive line right now it looks like it's regressed completely. Last year they were at least good on the run, right? They were 10 on the run, 27th on the pass. I don't even want to look and see where they rank right now, but it's probably 27 on both or worse, maybe 32 on the pass. Just terrible. on Twitter said, well, but they were blitzing. So what? Blitzes are unguardable now. People defend against the blitz all the time in this league.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the Bears' offensive line is still the issue, and the
Caleb got beat down last night, bro.
And I'll add that the Raiders' offensive line is also trash right now. Like Minshew got sacked 5 times.
They're better than the Bears. Caleb at 7 times.
Bears can't even get a run game.
And I was like, at the end of the first half. At the end of the first half, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, put O'Connell in, dude. Like, I'm sick of watching Minshew go out there and stink it up. And then, the second half, he had a much better half. So
I mean, Caleb had to run for his life some yesterday. I mean, part of his jersey is now still in Houston.
Danielle Hunter was a beast yesterday, man.
Danielle Hunter was quiet for a lot of the game until about the second half. In the second half, that's when you started to see Danielle. In the first half, he was a little quiet.
I never seen so many direct shots.
He had that half sack with Will Anderson where he sandwiched Williams in the first half.
Oh my God! I thought he was not going to get up. I didn't think he was going to get up.
Anderson was the beast in the first half, and the Hunter was the beast in the second half. That's the thing about the Texans. It's like it's one of them is going to be going.
Who had the clean shot where he just pasted them? One of them.
That was Anderson.
But
Anderson had one too.
Bro, he just pancaked them.
I got a question for. I got a question for Ken, the Bear fan. Like, so I know we're not. You're saying don't bench Caleb, but I'm look at it from another perspective though. I'm not saying bench him because of the way he's playing, but like if your offense. For his safety, like if your offensive line is that bad, you're going to get him killed. So why not put Bajan in there and take the hits until the line gets a little more solid,
Yeah,
there was 7 sacks on him in that game.
Well, hold on, Jeremy. Let me answer the question. Jeremy, you asked me a question. Let me answer the question, please. I get what you're saying, Joe, from the safety standpoint, but here's the problem with that, right? It may be for his safety, but mentally that'll hurt him more than help him physically. I think you could possibly send him back. The O-line is bad. I mean, look at like Rob said, we can't even get a running game going. I mean, what's our average? Like, I think it's under 3 yards a carry right now. It might be 2.5 or 3.2. We're somewhere in that range. It's really bad. They can't get it running. Look, even if this offensive line, and oh, by the way, this offensive line is collecting laundry faster than JB's laundry machine. Okay. I mean, so many false starts. And Darnell Wright, who really his rookie year was great about not catching flags, is catching flags like they're candy right now. If they can at least, if this is what I hope for the Bears, honestly, let's be real, they're not going to fix the O-line this season, at least not in its entirety. However, just give me give me the run block, get the run block fixed. Yeah. Get me back to 4.5 to 5 yards a carry on a run block, because if they do that, that will open up the passing game, because now you'll have run option, right? You'll have play option, and it will save Caleb some.
Nobody respects your run right now. Nobody.
Right, that's what I'm saying. No, you're right, Rob. They don't, because and there's a reason, because the O-line is just terrible. So if you can at least fix the run piece of it, that'll help the pass piece a little bit. But considering that Caleb is able to do anything at all with this O-line, that's why I wouldn't go to Bajan. I'm not going to say that the play calling is bad. It's that the O-line can't execute, and when the O-line can't execute from the most basic of run plays down to the most basic of pass plays, it kind of limits what Shane can call. It definitely limits what Caleb can do.
But Caleb's got to hit some of those passes, bro. Some of that shit, he was off by like fucking 10 yards, man. Especially that last play. I mean,
well, Rome didn't turn. I think I think that was miscommunication between him and Odunze, to be honest with you, because he was looking at him like, dude, why don't you come back? And Rome was like, was I supposed to come back? So I think that was a little bit more miscommunication. But look, that's the other piece. Thank you for bringing that up, though, Rob, because there is some rookiness happening that we're seeing with Caleb. We're seeing some rookie errors, which we all knew would happen. Yeah, some fans talk like it would never happen. We knew there'd be rookie mistakes. And
they were still saying 3 touchdowns out of Caleb. He hasn't got one yet.
No,
that interception that he had that he threw into triple coverage was definitely he's used to making that play in college and not realizing that the guys are just that extra.
You can't throw into triple coverage in the pros, man. No.
Well, you can because they do it all the time, but the problem is he underthrew that. Both
legit guys do it all the time.
Well, no, but both throws were both balls were underthrown. If he had enough on that ball, that would have been
the second interception, he was under duress. I understand that one, but
both of them he won.
Well, he was really under
the DJ Moore. Yeah, but the DJ Moore, the first interception where he underthrew DJ, that ball fell short too. He was under duress. I think.
Bro, that one pass where he threw it at Swift's feet in the backfield, I was like, "What the fuck was that?" He missed. I mean, he dropped it. I don't know if that was he was changing his mind halfway and he tried to pull it back and it just popped out. I don't know, but that was terrible. And he was in the backfield.
Hey, Nancy has a very negative take on Caleb and his future in Chicago.
He's going through,
bro.
I'm going to be the positive one here.
Oh, he's going through that phase right now where he's adjusting to the pressure. Like he underthrew 2, he overthrew 2 or 3. He's figuring out the pressure and what he needs to do. And it might take another week or 2, to be honest. I mean, but he's trying to dial in. And we see this with young quarterbacks, especially when you have no line and you're much beleaguered. You know, he's trying to dial it in and he's getting closer. He did make some plays yesterday. He did make some throws yesterday. We're like, okay. And there were a couple that he's not going to get credit for because they didn't show up as receptions. But on the PII, even, he put the ball in the perfect spot. And it was either going to be a catch or a PI. And the PI happened. So he's not complete. He's still getting there. And I think we saw that with the underthrows, the overthrows, and the miscommunication pieces, like with him and Rome at the end of the game. There's still some of that going. He's growing. And he's doing so with probably the worst offensive line in the league right now.
If I'm the Bears, though, I'm not really. If I'm the Bears, I'm not really panicking though, because you're 1-1 despite the bad offensive line play, and the team you lost to, the Texans, is a very good team. So I'm not hitting the panic button if I'm Chicago yet. You know,
I'm not. Their defense kept them in that game. Your defense kept you in that, man. Your secondary is fucking badass, man. Holy fuck.
So I want to be the only one that sees the positive in this game. And the fact that Caleb Williams' only incompletions came under pressure. He was 24 of 37, which is way better than the week before. He had almost 200 yards passing, which is an improvement. But when he threw his 2 picks and had all the incompletions.
Yeah, and you're right, JB. And he'll get better at that. Most quarterbacks get better at that.
And what's funny is, in those plays where he made all his completions was when the Texans were in zone, which is what he faced in college and tore up a lot. So there is some signs he is still that QB. He's just not an NFL QB yet.
Yeah. No, he's got to learn, bro. He's got to learn the defenses and how to. They're covering stuff for him. I mean, they're not making it easy on him, but he's getting
on fire.
Luke is on fire. I don't mean to cut you off, but Luke's on fire because right now Caleb is about as accurate as Dorn's take. And on cue, Dorn comes in and says, "Bears defense is overrated. That secondary horrible." Yeah. Because the secondary, and that's right after JB.
Secondary's your savior, bro. They've been your savior. I got to give you that.
Yeah, I mean, look, the defense is legit. We knew the defense would be legit. And to be honest, look, the Texans have a legit defense too. And the fact that the Bears even got their first offensive touchdown on a very legit defense, and we're able to do, and Caleb was able to improve. I'm looking at this Colts game going, okay, this is a game coming up this week, which we'll talk about, week 3 later in the week. But just, after the game, I thought, okay, better. Still got work to do, but at least they're going to get to play a Colts team that really, against Green Bay, with the issues they had, it looks like it's going to be a great opportunity for Caleb and that O-line to grow, at least maybe in the run game, and take that first step of, winning games again or solidifying. So I'm looking forward to week 3 and see what Caleb does. I mean, look at the first 2 weeks, the Bears have played 2 really good defensive lines, and they got destroyed. Now they're coming in week 3. They're a Colts defensive line, which hasn't been as good as we all thought they would be, but they're still a little decent. But it's going to be an opportunity. But the fact that they were able to hang around,
0-2, bro.
yeah.
Hey, so I've heard of a dink and dunk offense, but what is a dick and dunk offense?
It's what John does in his house every day.
Does Caleb throw short passes with his dick out, or what?
No, it's what John does in his house every day.
All right. Hey, Joe, I want to take this moment to thank you very much for Josh Jacobs. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, except for that fumble into the
bro,
end
he
zone.
fought 2
Yeah.
games.
Hey, you know what? We got to take
one.
one of them a game, I guess. Oh, well.
One a game, bro. That's fucking horrible. That's he had 1 touchdown called back because of a penalty, and then he fumbled as he's running into the end zone. I mean, what the fuck?
45 base 3. I don't think it's that bad because Anthony Richardson has looked more inaccurate than Caleb Williams this year.
Well, wait, go to Phillips' thing about Montez Sweat. I love when guys, Montez Sweat. I get typos. I'm a typo king. 0 sacks, 0 tackles, 0 assists, but 0 interceptions, but pressures. He had a block.
He had a ton of pressures, man. He
had a ton of pressure. Plus, he blocked the ball at the line.
Yeah.
They after they were talking about CJ's no interception streak, the very next play, Montez Sweat bats a ball and almost creates an interception. So, I mean, Sweat's being effective. He also negated some big plays. The one big play, they had a nice play. I think it gave him a first down, and it all came back because, he got his helmet tore off. Sweat did from the defender trying to hold him from getting to the quarterback. So, Sweat's still being effective. Look at people think Montez Sweat, if he doesn't have 3 sacks a game, he's ineffective. But he doesn't have to. That's look, if Max Crosby has 0 sacks, does that mean Max Crosby was ineffective? No.
I was actually just going to say that because Crosby does a lot of stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but
yeah, they all
helps,
do. The big guys do because now you're doubling and tripling, which means look at the Bears defense got sacks yesterday. They got pressures yesterday. Why? Because Montez Sweat is on the field. That's why. If you take him off the field, that defense isn't nearly as effective in the front. So, I mean, don't just look at the stat line and go, we had 0 pressures or he was credited with 0 and think, a guy didn't do anything. Take him out of the game and see those other guys who have crooked numbers in their stat line. How many of those numbers become 0? And that's true for any team.
Speaking of which, Max Crosby was limping yesterday. At the end of the game, he got hurt, and he was severely limping. So hopefully, it's nothing serious. He seemed to be fine in the locker room, but yeah, at the end of the game, they said he was limping terribly.
I say you should be 2-0, Joe, but you guys let me down last week. What the fuck?
Just let you down.
The Harbaugh brothers are even all fucked up. The one that should be fucking doing the best is the worst, and the one that's doing the worst should be the best.
But if I'm Baltimore, I'm not really sweating it, dude. You had a couple of bad breaks, but 0-2 for another team, I'd say okay, you might be in trouble, but Baltimore, they''ll get it right, dude.
If they go 0-3, you still think so? If they go 0-3, you still think so?
Yeah. I think they'll figure it out, dude. They're too talented a team to have a losing record this year, I think.
I think Billy, don't be depressed because what we saw yesterday, while we know our offensive line is now proven without a fact it sucks. That defense is legit, and that defense is going to keep the Bears in a lot of games this year and give us opportunities. Our O-line, it sucks, but our defense is legit. So don't be depressed, Billy.
Yeah. What about the Saints, man?
Dude.
Derek Carr is lighting the world on fire.
They're on fire.
We started with it. You missed it. But Derek Carr, the first 15 possessions of the season, 14 touchdowns and a field goal.
Man,
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm not
insane.
even trying to throw shade here, Joe, but are you missing Derek Carr right now?
Dude, I've been missing Derek Carr since last year. When he wasn't playing good on the Saints, I was still
didn't
like,
want to
man,
move
I wish
on
we
from
had
Carr.
Derek
You
Carr.
didn't want to move on from Carr.
I
So-
really didn't, but at the same time, part of me bought into the storyline of, well, he's been here 9 years, like this is what he is, you know. And I don't know. I mean, I guess it was best for both teams in a way because we got to, you know, change our strategy and our roster a little bit.
Don't give him an easy out. It was McDaniels ruining yet another franchise when he came to Vegas and ran Carr out of town. He did the same thing.
But there was a lot of fans.
There,
there was a lot of fans, Ken, that were like on the dump
fans
Carr
are idiots,
thing.
man. You can't listen to the fans.
There was a lot of fans.
I would say A-Dub asked a good question about anyone with an 0-2 record might surprise some people. I would have to say it's the Rams and Bengals right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Bengals got robbed yesterday. And JB, I was thinking of you. I was thinking of you yesterday as Mahomes got picked off again, and yet a flag called it back. Then they got a gift on the pass interference. They got so many gifts. I mean, the zebras wear red. They
I know,
do because
we've seen the meme. We know.
I mean,
what it is Pat Mahomes is the new Aaron Rodgers. We got it.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, it's more Brady. Brady got a hell of a lot more breaks than Rodgers did. Now, don't get me wrong. Rodgers sure got his breaks, but
hey, Carr and Jacobs are doing Carr and Jacobs are doing well on other teams, but like let's not sit here and act like the Raiders are 0-2 or anything either. Like the Raiders, they won yesterday and they beat a legit team in Baltimore, which not very many teams do. So the thing that kind of pisses me off is the Raiders aren't going to get credit for that because everybody's going to say, oh, well, Baltimore's 0-2. But why are they 0-2? Like the Raiders contributed to making them 0-2. So like, you know, they were only 0-1 and they only lost to the Chiefs before they played us. So like, you know, that's going to be the narrative.
It's much like the Rams are 0-2 right now because both of them are 1-15 in the red zone.
Yeah,
there you go. 1-15. That says everything.
But I'm just saying that the narrative is going to be that the Raiders are going to get no credit for that win, and I think it's bullshit because the Raiders beat a good team in their home stadium.
No, you're right, Joe. But I mean, right now
the quantified win.
But I'm not talking about you guys. Like you guys recognize that it's a good win, but I'm talking about like the media pundits and stuff that like they're going to give the Raiders no credit. It's going to be all about how Baltimore is starting to fall off and this and that.
But I mean, look at right now. If you're
that's
1-1,
very doubtful, Dorn. Very doubtful.
If you're 1-1, if you're 1-1, if you're 1-1, you should be feeling okay right now. You should be feeling okay because A, you're 1-1. B, you know your team can win games, but probably needs work because of the loss that you took. You need some work, but you're in some positivity. If you're 0-2, you're scratching your head going, what are we doing wrong? If you're 2-0, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a great season. We can do no wrong. We're going to just keep winning. This is where we are in the season, right? I mean, 0-2 people are freaking out. 1-1 people are semi-freaking out, but have a little bit of confidence. And the 0-2ers are going, holy shit, we're terrible. We suck. That's not the case. We're 2 weeks in, you know. I mean, and look at the schedule. If you look at, you know, I mean, okay, the Bengals losing week 1 was a surprise, and look at New England almost started 2-0. They almost won that game yesterday. So I mean, but the Bengals to lose yesterday, it wasn't like they got destroyed. It's not like they're not a good team. They're a team that came into the season with a lot of turmoil and issues, and they didn't play well maybe last week, but they played really well this week comparatively, and they're going to be fine. Baltimore is going to figure out the defense, but they're really missing Patrick Queen.
There's a couple of positive takeaways for the Bengals too. First of all, Burrow a lot better, so it's like he's actually going to come back from that injury. Second of all, like look at the offensive numbers for quarterbacks this week. And it was better than week 1, but still not up to usual NFL standards. Like there was a few quarterbacks that threw for 300 or 250, but there was a lot of quarterbacks in that 170, 180 yard range again, even in wins. So, the offenses are still not really clicking. So, I think there's some positives to take from the Bengals game, as well as like anybody who's like panicking about, being 0-2. Like, the offenses really haven't hit yet.
If you're a playoff team like Baltimore or Cincy, you're 0-2, man, I of course with the stat that everyone loves to throw out, 6% chance. You know what?
Real stat, man. It's a real stat.
It's a real stat, but I mean, it's over such a long breadth of time. And these are two really good playoff teams that, schedule-wise, got the gods were the football gods were frowning upon them with the way the schedule broke. Those are two teams that are going to be in the thick of it for the playoffs from the end of the year. Both those guys, both those may get in. Now, if you're a team like Carolina,
it's nothing new with the Bengals.
Yeah,
because the Bengals, they said it on the game last night that in the last 5 years, in the first two games, the Bengals are 1-9 in the last 5 years.
Yeah. So I mean, I just wouldn't. For those two teams, I don't think I would completely freak out because they've played well. They've just gotten beaten by good teams. I think yesterday was the first time the Raiders' defense played up to what we thought they would be. Last week they kind of got surprised by the Chargers a little bit because the Chargers, no receivers yet. They have found a way with their receiving core and their running back room. Dobbins, based off past performance, no one thought that this guy would be running 50 yards a game, let alone 100. So, I mean, there's a little credit there to be given to the Chargers for surprising some people. Some good teams, too. But, I mean, for those two teams, for Baltimore and Cincy 0-2, I wouldn't, completely freak out. We're not going to beige it anytime soon, Jason. Sorry.
I would also remind line is you might be going to him soon because he might end up missing a game or two.
Yeah, if it's injury, we're not going to him.
No, he might get killed, bro. He might just get beat down. I mean, the beating he took last night was terrible.
Oh. There's a meme out there, and it's both him and Justin, and they're both in Orange Crush, and they both of them are on the bench. The exact same pose.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I saw that. What being a quarterback in Chicago does to you or something like that.
Yes,
and you see them both just like,
it's just, they got to do it that old. I mean, I don't care. You know what? Here's the thing that's so frustrating as a Bears fan. And it's not frustrating because I kind of, this is why Bears fans are frustrated. They have so much, we all know they've got a shitload of talent on this team, right? And they can't use any of it because the O-line is completely non-existent. Who was it? And Jason and Forte, or whatever his name, on Twitter yesterday, had a post after the game said, here's the Bears' offensive line. It showed a guy like at a quick trip, opening the door to let customers in. I mean, that's legit the Bears' offensive line right now. And look at Darnell Wright has not started out well.
Woody.
Darnell.
It's Woody in the background. I was wondering who it was.
Darnell Wright has not started out well.
Get me the fuck on.
Braxton
camera on, bro.
Now we're gonna say you gotta turn your camera on.
Turn your camera on, bro. You can come right in.
No. You don't need my camera on. No fucking way.
Well,
then this is anonymous.
All we get is your voice. All right.
I know. I hear you.
All right. So Braxton Jones has not started well. He's been decent. But the two tackles have had the best start, right? Tevin Jenkins, well, I'll give him credit. He's staying healthy. I think his PFF grade is significantly suffering because he's having to compensate for the center and the right guard being completely absolute trash. Look, if the Bears would be better off with me and Woody at the center and right guard positions right now.
Nope, I'll be quarterback. Don't fucking worry about that.
I know Woody said he could get 10 wins out. He goes, with this offense, he could get 10 wins himself. I remember him saying that.
Absolutely. I would at least had 3 touchdown passes by now.
Maybe for the other team.
Hey, also, the Raiders play Carolina this week, so that should be a good confidence builder, get right game for the Raiders.
And that's
Yeah, that
what
was impressive.
that's what the quote should be for the Bears. Hopefully, in terms
You
at
guys
least
got
of the
a
running
desperate
game, the
Indy
O
team.
line.
A desperate 0-2 Indy team coming in. Who's
Dorn, I love Dorn. Dorn says Bears always played the offensive line, never the horrible quarterback. Dorn, do you not watch football? Did you not see how bad that offensive line, giving up 7 sacks, 11 pressures or hit pressures, plus all the other? I mean, that offensive line, everyone and their brother or sister, even if they're blind and deaf and have to be told through Braille, knows that offensive line is terrible. That offensive line
Bears,
is horrendous.
Hole should have fixed his fucking O line before he put all those weapons back there.
I don't disagree. I think he thought he did.
I think so too. I think I agree with you there. I think he thought he fixed it.
Since we have another Bears fan on, Woody, why don't you give us your interpretation of this game?
Listen,
Ken, you're a cold piece of work. You know exactly what you're doing.
I know. I like
He
what
wants to turn this into the Caleb Williams hate hour.
listen, I know that we can all blame it on everybody except for Caleb Williams and stuff like that. There is some passes he did miss again yesterday that the receivers were wide open. But yes, the offensive line sucked yesterday again. But I don't know what to tell you. I mean, even they said that Houston usually doesn't rush. Dude, they rushed like 51% of the time yesterday because they know our offensive line sucked.
Yes, that's why.
So that's gonna be every team. Yep. The rest of the season is gonna be just fucking blitz. That's it. Yep. Done.
Like,
so
if the Bears can at least get the O line, I think Woody might agree with this. Like, look it. I don't think the Bears can fix the O line during the season, but or at least not completely. If they can at least improve on the run again, get that run block back up, then that will help with the passing game, and that will give that offense hope. But right now, the way that line is, they can't run block, they can't pass block, they can't block anything. At least give me the run block, and that might improve the other aspects of the game.
Well, I did say yesterday that we wouldn't have a passing touchdown, but I said that we're going to have a rushing one. So thank you, Herbert. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you did say that. I'll give you that.
Longest run of the game, 4 yards.
Unbelievable.
Honestly, dude, you know what I think I think the Bears could do to help their offense out is sort of not change their playbook long term, but just in the meantime, start getting the ball out of Caleb's hands faster. Like start throwing more.
They did.
Well, they did. He would say he averaged 2.5 and 2.57 seconds.
Less than that.
That was a big difference from last week. But
he was still getting sacked. Okay, well,
bro,
I didn't get to watch. I didn't get to watch too much of the game.
He was under the league average for getting the ball
out. Every team that they face is going to come at him like that now.
And even if he was in the shotgun the whole fucking time too,
it's still he was in the shotgun a lot, and they were still in his face instantly. It's like he just didn't even protect, bro. I'm telling you, he got pancaked. One legit pancake, man.
Oh, and the full start. Holy fuck.
A-Dub had a comment I want to get back to, if I can find it, about there it is. Darnell Wright caught numerous penalties, which can be a problem. And yet, you know what? That's one thing that surprised me, A-Dub, because Darnell Wright last year was really good about not catching flags. He was he's catching laundry faster than Woody does than Woody washes his underwear. I mean,
they're down. Mike
go fucking shave. Ken, you don't know nothing about my fucking underwear
situation as well.
They're just pussies, man.
You're pretty fucking sad if you know about my underwear. You fucking sick freak.
Sick freak.
According to Bear Down,
let's talk about the UFC fight. Something interesting that happened on Saturday.
Hey, Woody, hold on. What was that, Joe?
I said, according to Bear Down Mike, the problem is that your offensive line is full of pussies.
I mean, you take out the tackles. Look at Tevin. I think it's a center and the right guard. That's still the issue. Center and right guard. Tevin, the tackles are getting the best PFF grades on that line. Still.
Hey, is Swift still alive? That last hit he took was killer.
Tevin Jenkins, I think his numbers are really depreciating because he's caught in this place like, I know my center sucks ass, and so I need to try to block two guys, which he can't do. And so he's caught in indecision land because his center is so terrible. So now he's ineffective.
Let's talk about something interesting that O'Malley got fucking beat on Saturday. That's more interesting than the fucking Chicago Bears offensive line.
You know, what are your luck if we do have a UFC show where you can go do just that?
I could do whatever I fucking want, Ken. How about that?
I could do a lot of things too.
Hey,
I know.
Hey there, Woody. How'd you like?
Oh God! Here we go with the fucking power fucking edge that Ken has. I have the power to fucking kick you off the show or mute you.
Like,
who gives a shit?
I'm just saying
who gives a fuck?
Show. Well, this is a
gives
football
a fuck?
show. You can go talk about UFC on the UFC show, dude. We're talking about football here.
Yeah, well, I can talk whatever I want to talk about next.
Should they bench Williams in favor of
no,
just to save his life, just to keep him from getting killed? Because he's no. They threw. That's what Chicago Bears. That's all the teams do. They threw the quarterbacks into the fire. You might as well keep them in there and let them burn. You know what I'm saying? And let them learn. Let them learn. He did a lot better than he did week 1.
Yeah, I'll give him that. Yeah, he actually looked like a decent quarterback for a good amount of the game.
You want Fields back?
He had a lot of bad too.
You wish Fields was still here?
Well, he's 2-0 because of his defense as well. But no.
And Jason, I'm not denying it. There's no denial going on here. I mean, my O-line sucks.
Oh my God. And it's going to tire the defense out, and we're going to fucking. Yeah. It's going to be bad.
This is not sustainable. What the Bears are doing right now. The O-line needs to, at minimum, improve on run block because this is not sustainable. And you know what? Big credit to the Bears D on the second turnover, second interception, creating a turnover and getting the ball back. They created yet another turnover, that fumble, right? They recovered. This defense, so as good as they are, this is not sustainable for the Bears.
And if we get the football in positive territory, we got to score touchdowns. Fuck these field goals.
Yeah. The offense is just the O-line's got to get better, or we can have all the best weapons in the world. It doesn't matter if the O-line is opening the door and saying, "Please come on in. Would you like some fresh coffee or Woody's tea bag?"
You said last year about Fields, man, the progression. I mean, all right, as long as he keeps progressing, he gets better every week. Yeah, I mean, it's all positives. I mean, it sucks you lost, but I mean, you guys got a serious issue on your offense, man.
The offensive line's the issue. That's it. Point blank. Period.
Well, I think that contributes to some of it, but some of it's Caleb too, just being a rookie, bro.
Yep.
Ask DJ Moore.
He doesn't have time. DJ
Moore.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's not problematic, though. But Rob,
those all can be fixed. But you're old. Yeah. He's not going to learn anything if he's getting killed every week. All he's going to do is learn how to run for his life, like Fields.
And I guarantee DJ Moore is frustrated already. He wasn't frustrated with Fields though. He hasn't shown it on the field like he did yesterday.
Yesterday he did for sure. Oh.
Yep.
Yep. So that old line, if it does not get fixed, this D, while there's just
if I'm Poles, I'm out shopping around for some. I mean, start bringing guys in, man. You need to start doing something.
You need to do something because it's just not working. And if there's going to be deadlines
turning on polls, I see fans turning on polls in the comments, man, and a lot of posts.
Well, that's because Bears fans, by general, are just negative thinkers, anyway.
I think they are too. I think you're right.
We do. We're just negative. Like, oh, he missed the pass. Oh my God, it's the worst thing that ever happened in the history of Chicago.
Yeah,
the guy missed one pass. They're like, we're going to suck again. Like, really, guys? Yeah, we're just a negative fan base. I mean, that's just,
absolutely. Yes, I am.
We weren't negative. We were nothing.
Yes, I am. Listen to Woody. Yes, I am.
And on that terrible final take how positive the Bears are. Everyone, don't forget Monday Night Football. Is there a Packers show tonight?
A genius.
No, there isn't. Be back with us here tomorrow morning. You guys all have a great day. Get you some coffee.
Fuck yeah.
Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Broseph Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and Maniacs. The nightly podcasts are Palace Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow